This is my 2007 Honda Pilot RV. I have stripped some of the seats out and converted it into a camper van, camper SUV, camper four-wheel drive with a car top tent, and I'm going to show that to you now. I realized that you could just buy a car top tent. For my purposes, they were all a bit large, and since most of the tents come with the padding inside them, you can't store much in there, and they're extra large. They're a little bit too high on top of the vehicle. This, for me, I can store everything inside. I can store chairs inside. I can put a lot of different things inside it and just put my padding in my car and throw that up top as needed. Otherwise, it works great as storage for me. It's also not as large. It is a bit sleeker than most car top tents. It takes up less space. It doesn't cover my sunroof. So I like how this is. It's just a tarp that is connected only on this front lip area. So when it folds open, I can just spread that out. I can tie it down if needed. I can tie it to the sides of the car if needed. I can tie it to trees and just have a large rain-free area. So that works good. And if it's really windy, I can strap it down real tight. It allows me to have an area for cooking, an area just to stand up, an area to take a shower, because that's nice. The real-time setup is about 5 to 10 minutes, and stow is about 5 minutes. So that's all very nice. This is an area which a person can sleep, and its setup is pretty simple. I have engineered these previously to be able to all fold out, but it gets complicated. This is a pretty simple way of doing it. This is a pop-up screen tent. What it does allow is a completely bug-free environment which a person can lay down in. Let's take a look inside the vehicle. It is nice and cozy in here. There is plenty of space. I have made the floor level as I can and secured it. And in here I have my bed, and I have screens in all the windows. So these screens are open. Another great trick, which I think you're going to enjoy thoroughly, is these. And again, I worked towards things that were just easy to do. However, I did put this in here, and it runs the entire length of the entire car. And the backs of these have Velcro and can Velcro on the door. This Velcros to the door, this Velcros to that. It goes around the entire inside of the car. And then I can lay any way I want. It's pretty nice like this. The reason I put the bed on the floor rather than extending it up, I had it off the ground and I could put storage and things underneath it, but when it's on the ground like this, I tend to sit up at night. And I can still sit up like this and get a stretch in and then lay back down. And this, it just gives me tons and tons of space. So when I travel, I have my computer with me, my laptop, which holds a charge for a full day, and I can always recharge it when I'm driving. I have all my camera equipment, all my gear for hiking, and I usually keep that in here. And when I open up the top, that's usually where I put all that stuff. I just pile it in the top. Also, I can fold the bed up against the sides of the door, and then there's a hardwood plank that runs the length of the car. Folds up. That folds up, and there is actually a seat underneath it. It is something of a jump seat. It's thin so that I can put the bed beside it, but it allows me, if I have a passenger, there is a seat. You can buckle up. It is bolted to the ground. It just doesn't move around. And so this is still a 4 or 5 passenger vehicle, even with the middle row of seats removed. A little bit of footage of the process of the car top tent. This is the raw wood. I use a lightweight wood, and then I'll prime it and paint it, and even use a waterproof coat, and then cover it in vinyl. So it, for a few years, is fine. And this is the top assembled, and I've got it caulked. Here's the top. I have it assembled, and then I give it a coat of paint. Well, I sand it smooth and paint it again. To my eye, the tapered edges just look so much better. It's only tapered a little, but it's just enough. Mounting these in the proper spots it's tough to get right. You really have to do a lot of thinking. See, it goes up on its own. Right about there's the release point. It doesn't necessarily need these supports, but these are, they just slide out. I've got them marked where I want to stop pulling. It's my work in progress here. I've got the tarp on it. And it just gets so complicated. It's such a headache. That is the inside of the panel. I'll have that covered. But the tarp here is huge because this bed area. This is the other side of it. And I can back up further. This thing's 20 feet wide, so there is. Well, the support legs are up, and I know that looks a little cheesy. These are hula hoop things, but guess what? They really work. I've learned that you want some flexibility there. Those are aluminum with wire. It's pretty strong. My platform up there, nice and big, actually folds the bed out. This is actually pretty dang large. Sort of letting it hang, pulling bungees to keep it tight. I can make this come out further. Well, here's the top on. And I want to still do a little color matching. Like either more sheen up here or less sheen right here. This is just tape, but it's waterproof. Through the various stages that I built this one, I learned that people don't build them like this very often for a reason. In the end, for me, the simplest solution was the best solution. I didn't want something that stuck way up on top of the rig. I didn't want something that was too long. I didn't want something that covered my moonroof. All the way that it turned out for me is fine. I guess the bottom line is that there is not a perfect camper and there is not a perfect solution. So thank you for checking out my little fake camper RV. I appreciate you watching the video of it, watching me unfold this camper and refold it back up. It represents a lot of work for myself. I finally have it working in a way that is comfortable for me, in a way that's fine, because you know what? Everything's fine. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comments, because I didn't cover everything. I'm never sure how thorough to be. If I was real thorough, I could make a 5-hour video, but you don't want to watch a 5-hour video.